And we are on YouTube.
Which means...
Make Up with 70 with Roy picking out of my bag. Wow, you're like aggressive.
Ooh, here's another...
Ooh, a black one. What'd you get?
I don't know.
I don't even know how to say that, but you got it in a envy color.
Envy color.
Envy. And
You're
today's...
the envy of the world.
Well, thanks. No, I'm not, but I'll take it. Anyways, today's National Days is Kiss a Ginger Day. That seems pretty...
You know, I think Tina Louise, Ginger of the Gilligan's Island, is the only one of the main cast that's still alive. With the passing of Dawn Wells the other day.
Okay.
I think, and actually, she never was like the character she played. She was actually really nice.
Bella Premiere.
Bella Premiere.
I don't even know. It has a weird smell to it, though. But it's great. That was random. I bet you said you would go with the other one, right? The brown hair?
Well, as they played the characters, you know, because she played the character, the stuck-up, you know,
right.
Diva,
she was a ginger?
drama queen. Yes, Ginger. That was her name on Gilligan's Island.
Oh.
That was Tina.
Ginger is like a person with red hair and like red body.
And that's what I think Tina Louise had red hair.
Okay, we're going to go on.
You and remember the first love holes.
We're going to go on Facebook now. I don't
I didn't even touch your mouse.
I'm proud of you. So proud.
There's that Boogie like guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5 on Newswire, on Twitch. Maybe not. Well, maybe not.
We're on Twitch.
Facebook.
And on... Oh, crap.
I thought
I wanted to do it. I know.
And
on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share us all over your world. I just want to see if I can do it like you.
No,
I feel like I was doing it better.
You're jumping on my lines. Why did you do that?
Shut up, woman.
Stay off of my lines.
You know what? Where's my beating stick? We need to bring that back. I know, but you didn't like it, though. Whatever. Sorry. Anyways. I'm taught by just a great master. I mean, how can I not try to be like you? Everybody wants to be like you.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with... Boy, the world would be a better place on a...
Tenacious Tuesday! It would
If
not
everybody
be.
was like... I mean, as arrogant as I can be, I've always said if they would just listen to me, the world would be a much better place. We're going to get into that a little bit when we play, because the County Board of Supervisors had their first meeting on that, and we'll run a little bit on that later. Sensitivity.
Don't judge me.
I've about had that crap up to here. You know, we went through all the ridiculousness of 2020, and we all know what that is. But for crying out loud, we can't talk to each other. We can't have fun. You can't make a jib at somebody without somebody's world freaking falling apart. Two examples we're going to roll with you in the top of the show. One is Hallie Deegan. She's from Temecula. She's the daughter of Brian Deegan, the Big X star. She's been racing NASCAR. We interviewed her a couple years ago when they had the Pro Series West race out at the Orange Show Speedway. She was out there, and she's moved up to the Truck Series, on and on. She's probably about 18 or 9. I think she was like 16 when we interviewed her. She's like probably 18, 19. What was that, about 3 years ago? 2 years ago, something like that.
Right.
She's like 18, 19, running up the ladder. Good for her. Having a good career, moving up the ladder, on and on. more power to you. We all had the Kyle Larson incident, which, he used the N-word playing the iRacing game, video game or whatever, and it ended the suspension, which was unwarranted, but he's back in NASCAR and that. One of the great things is he got to go sprint car, midget, open wheel racing dirt, probably had the time of his life, won everything in sight, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's over with. This is even less of a problem as I see it. And if we can't do this, Hallie Deegan was playing one of these, I don't know, racing games, video, da-da-da. This is short, about 6 seconds of a video that was caught. Hallie Deegan on this. Here we go.
This is fun. Oh, hey, who's the retard behind me? Don't do that, please.
I'm going to play that again because it's short, just so you get it. Here we go.
This is fun. Oh, hey, who's the retard behind me? Don't do that, please.
Now, she wasn't calling the person, she wasn't calling somebody who was, had a handicap that, but I don't, from time immemorial that I've been on this earth, we have used that term as doing, if you mess something up or you do something stupid, that's retarded. You're doing, hey, who's the retard behind me? Maybe he's I don't know, maybe he was hitting her bumper or whatever. I don't know how these things work. Something she was teed off a little bit or didn't like. Wanted to let the guy know, hey, this is it. That word was not used to insult somebody with a handicap. It was used to say, hey, knock it off. And it is perfectly in my world and has been up to that and should be, unless we all just don't want to talk to each other. Because if we're going to eliminate every word that somebody's offended by, somebody out of 7+ billion people on planet Earth are going to be offended by every word that's used somewhere. So if one person's offended by the word, none of us should use it. We might as well cut out our tongues if that's the way it's going. What's your thoughts?
You're being very dramatic. She didn't get fired, so I think that's good. She's got to take some.
NASCAR put her under sensitivity training.
But when you're in that light and you're out there and she's a celebrity in a way. Or she is. I'm not sure. I think that you need to be cautious of what you say because you are an example for little kids. And maybe parents don't want their children talking like that. I, however, don't see the big offense of it, but I do know a lot of people that do take offense of it because they have children with Down syndrome. So I see it on both sides. I don't use it, but I don't get upset when I hear it.
Fine.
I think it's a respect thing, but I'm not going to go and throw some fit or hate somebody over using the word retard.
Yes, turn it off. Like you say, if you don't want to do it.
Exactly.
That's your
Which
choice.
I think is where the world doesn't go anymore. If you just don't like it, walk away. I mean, why are we going to throw a fit? But I think people will find, if they don't like you, they'll find any reason to get you in trouble.
Yeah, they're using
and that's
this.
kind of what this came down to.
They're using this as a weapon. We got one more example that came out today of this. It's not about the word or anything. They're weaponizing that. You want everybody to be no. Who was it? You and somebody else were afraid of the robots and everything else. That's what they're making us. Robots.
No, because the robots are going to go rogue and kill all of us.
No, yeah, the robots won't care.
I'm serious.
The robots will be using their, hey, you retard, that's what we're going to go to use. Zap, boom. Like you say, that's what, I mean.
But I also think, too, that people in the world don't give a crap about if they're offending or upsetting anyone either. So I think that's just, there's two different types of people. The oversensitive ones and the ones that just don't give a crap. Like, there's no middle people.
So where do you put me in the category?
You don't give a crap. I'm oversensitive, but I'm kind of in the middle. But
no, it is.
That's what makes the show go.
It's kind of like the whole, people complain that you put this, that, and the other on a social page, or you said this. If you don't like it, scroll on by.
I think that was harmless. I mean, if she's walking by and somebody fell and then she said that, okay, that's way different. That would piss me off. You know what I mean? But that instant, I would be like, yeah, they probably were an idiot.
Well, I would. I mean, if I
is how I would see it.
if I tripped over something or done something stupid and fell down, and you said I was a retard, I wouldn't. My world would not fall apart. I'd laugh with you. Yeah, that
Right.
was stupid.
Right.
You know, that was retarded. Da da da. We've used that word as in that pejorative, and I even had a discussion of a person that was going to that with a person that had a handicap, and I said, where you're missing the point is I'm not calling anyone with a handicap retarded or in a mean way. It's a term that is, I mean, like you say, in the engine world, in the automotive, there's called timing electrical. That's what fires your spark plugs and makes your deal doing. If the timing is late, timing's retarded, means it's behind, you got to move the distributor or whatever and move it up. We've used those terms all the time. Now, can you not say your timing's retarded on your engine without somebody having a hissy fit?
No.
This is how ridiculous things are going. You think this is not an isolated incident. Former hockey player Mike Mulberry, he's the color man on NHL broadcasts. Play-by-play man John Foslin said, if you think about it, the bubble, which means the playoff bubble, now with this COVID, you're in the playoff bubble, no fans, you're quarantined, the teams play, they can't go anywhere, yada, yada, yada. So he said, if you think about it, the bubble is a terrific environment with regard to if you enjoy playing, enjoy being with your teammates for long periods of time, it's a perfect place. Mike Mulberry replied, not even any women here to disrupt your concentration. NBC fires him.
What did he say again?
Not even women here to disrupt your concentration.
And they fired him?
Yes. Isn't that stupid? I mean, if you're going shopping with your girlfriends or something, and I say, well, you're not saying, well, yeah, we want all you guys around here bothering us, trying to, we know you're pissed off because you don't want to be here, da-da-da. It's a perfect environment for you to get away from us, to do shopping or whatever.
Right.
And that's what he's pointing out, is it's the perfect environment to concentrate on playing the game because there's not only that, there's no bar. You can't go to the bar, get in trouble with the honeys hanging out at the locker room or anything else. You're there to play. If you're concentrating and wanting to win the game, that's what he was making it.
Right.
He was not insulting women.
That's really... That's so shitty. Excuse my language.
Well,
I'm sorry. I mean, we're on the topic.
Really get fired
we're on the topic.
Good thing we're only on the net.
I know, that's why I said
say that. But no, it is.
That is horrible.
Do you really? Is that to you? I mean, really, seriously, is that an insulting comment to women?
No, it makes sense because if I'm walking by, I want to distract a man. Every woman wants that feeling.
Yes.
Not to say like I literally mean that, but every woman wants that feeling to be seen, to be noticed.
Yes.
Every man wants that feeling too. So to fire somebody over it, that is clearly he just was not liked.
And that's the point.
In my opinion.
He's the color analyst, and that's really the point. If you want to win the hockey game, and that's really your goal in that, you really don't need any extraneous. You want to be at perfect peak physical, mental focus in on that. That puts you in the best position to win the game, and that's what Mike Mulberry's point was. Not that he was discriminating against. We don't like women. We don't want them around ever.
That is so stupid. That's. Yes. I mean, how can you take that out of that context, anyways?
Get fired over that.
That's horrible. He should take sensitive training.
No, he shouldn't even take sensitive training.
Sexual harassment training.
No.
Well, why not? Take some type of training. It fixes everything.
No, it makes it worse. Just like the Haley Deegan thing. It isn't, there was nothing. NASCAR, as I wrote on when I saw that, NASCAR is retarded if they're requiring Haley Deegan to go through sensitivity training. NBC is stupid, in my opinion, and unjustified firing Mike Mulberry for making an analogy of that. He was not disparaging
And
women.
he has a point, too.
Yes.
Because they get distracted.
Yes. Yeah, you distract
But you know what if one of the players was gay? Did he upset them by not throwing men in there? Watch next week. It'll break.
Oh, God. Did you have to say that?
Next week. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Hey, which more power to you. I don't care. I love the gay community, but we got to be sensitive to everybody now.
Here we go.
It's tiring.
We're going to take a break here, a little commercial break. We'll be right back.
I wasn't ready.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight.
Now available on Amazon, Donnie Edison's new book, Seeking the Sun Through the Storm, The Stroke That Saved My Life. Go check it out.
Check out the two hottest dealerships in San Bernardino, Toyota of San Bernardino and Nissan of San Bernardino, where you can see everything from a Toyota Tundra to a Nissan Rogue. The best deals in town, www.sbtoyota.com at the San Bernardino Auto Mall.
She held him up and he held up for ransom in the heart of the cold, cold city. He had a nasty reputation as a cruel dude. They said he was ruthless. You want me, I want you, baby.
First general meeting. They had a special meeting to discuss the hiring of a new CEO. So technically, first general meeting of the year today on this, and all the COVID thing came up. Obviously, this is their update. And you've been hearing the whole thing where our hospitals are overrun. We can't do this. You're all going to die, yada, yada, yada. This is Bruce Barton off head services with Riverside County giving the COVID response, or giving his update on that. We're going to play a short little clip of it. Here we go.
Update on what continues to be an unprecedented hospital surge. As of yesterday, this is our yesterday's numbers. Our hospitalizations are 3,222 total. That's COVID and non-COVID. Overall, that's 91% of the licensed capacity in Riverside County.
So, you heard that. From the office, you said unprecedented filling of our hospitals. We've never seen this before.
Dun, dun, dun.
91% of our hospital beds are filled up. For those of you that remember, and we've discussed this with Dr. Kelly Victory, trauma surgeon who deals with the absolute worst case scenario injuries.
And I believe, isn't she part of the pandemic team as well? I thought she's disease and preparedness.
Disaster preparedness.
That's what it is.
Yes, that's her expertise. Trauma surgeon, disaster preparedness. She puts plans together for major corporations. Expert in the field. I think that is probably undisputed. But if you got a dispute to that, bring it on. Bring it on with Kelly. She's on at least once a week. Question her credentials. We'll give you the phone number. We'll put you on and let her talk to you. You heard our hospital bed capacity is at 91%. You've heard Dr. Kelly Victory state on this station many times the magic number for hospitals to survive, make a profit, and be there if you need an emergency is 85% capacity. They need 85% of those beds filled so that they can pay the doctors, the nurses, the electric bill, the helicopters that fly you in if you're in a major, a trauma 1 situation, and on and on and on. Have emergency rooms open 24/7, the whole gamut. They have to survive. They're not even 10% over that. And we're hearing about how everything is falling apart. This is the worst, unprecedented. Could you imagine if this is what happens when it really isn't going on? Can you imagine if this is what we had, this is what we're dealing with now. Imagine if we had a real disaster. What if what if the big 8.0 earthquake hits, the San Andreas Fault cracks, man, there's leveled all across California, because that's going to happen someday. It's going to happen.
You don't have to put in the universe, though.
Of that. If this is what we're looking to, if this is how they're going to handle it with that, when they knew. They had the hospital up at the old Sears at Arlington and Streeter.
Right.
Where's that? They knew that. They said, oh, because you're not social distancing and Thanksgiving and Christmas and da-da-da-da. They put it together back in March or April. Then they took it down. Well, if they knew that, and they said it's going to come back and da-da-da-da, they knew that, why did they take it down? Why isn't that up and operational? Why isn't the Mercy ship back in the Long Beach Harbor? Why is all this stuff happening? Why we're only at 91% bed capacity in Riverside County? These are the new provocateurs. This is disinformation. We went through and I gave them the statistics that we ran on Friday. This is right in the medium about increase in deaths as we've had the last decade. If there was 330,000 people, and we were using the CDC statistics as CDC saying, then why isn't there biggest surge? The biggest increase we had was 86,000 in this decade. We're at 47,000 this year, right in the middle, right in the median average. If this was a pandemic, if there was 330,000 additional deaths due to COVID, we should see a 6-digit increase minimum in the numbers in 2020 in deaths, and we were at 47,000 right in the median average. There is no way not to sound callous about it, the amount of people that died in 2020 were going to die anyway. It's right in the average.
True.
There's we have 2.8 million people that die in the United States for the last decade, right in there, and we did it again. The increase in that practically every year is about equal to the population increase. So we've had no issues, no nothing, no difference. It won't save anybody, or we were saving lives, or that. I mean, it may sound callous, but as I said, when I went up there, I said, figures never lie, but liars figure. That was Samuel Clemens, a.k.a. Mark Twain. And that's what they're doing. The new provocateurs are doing this, and they're twisting numbers. They're scaring you half to death. Yeah, we do have a pandemic. You should have been prepared for it. You knew it was coming because you guys caused it. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame anybody. Go look in the mirror, Riverside County Board of Supervisors and executive staff, because it's laying on your plate along with all the other, with Newsom and all the other things. That's why you should go to www.recallgavin2020.com. Let's get it on.
Mark Austin writes in on Facebook, what about March Air Base Hospital? Do they have that anymore? I thought we talked about them getting rid of that.
Yes, that got tore down 25 years ago. It is
regardless, even if it was there, would they use it?
No, they wouldn't use it if it was there. They have plenty of capacity. They could, like we said, over this whole thing, if they were on the ball, they should have taken, like the Sears, they should have made these temporary dedicated, if you had COVID, you're going over here. The rest of the hospitals are retaining normal operations.
Diane writes in on Facebook as well, 100% correct, Roy. I think she meant to write Stephanie, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's kind of a big typo.
Whatever.
No, it's absolutely...
Just kidding, Diane.
It's absolutely crazy on that. We brought out the Kamala Harris on that. The protesters should not let up in August. Here are the new provocateurs.
Dun dun dun.
Coming up. Give me number 4, please. There needs to be unrest in the streets. Anna Presley. Protesters, as we did in August, should not let up. Kamala Harris. If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them. None other than Maxine, I don't even want to say it, Waters. I just don't know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be that witch Nancy Pelosi. You want to know what provoked? Who was the one that was provoking what happened on January 6th? You will not see a quote anywhere close from Donald J. Trump like that. This is multiple. They were egging this on, letting it go, and now they're trying to pin Trump with it. Of what they did. Again, the real provocateurs.
You won't see a tweet either because he's been removed. That was supposed to be funny. You're supposed to laugh. Whatever.
I do need to leave because if you don't laugh at this stuff, you're going to cry. This is on Breitbart. Idaho internet provider blocks Facebook and Twitter. An internet service provider, ISP in northern Idaho and Spokane, Washington area, has decided to block Facebook and Twitter for its customers after some called in to complain about censorship on the platforms. ISP, your Wi-Fi confirmed that we will block Facebook and Twitter from Wi-Fi service for some customers starting Wednesday, according to a report on KREM2. That the move comes after Twitter permanently banned President Donald Trump from its platform and Facebook locked the president out of his account indefinitely. It has come to our attention that Twitter and Facebook are engaged in censorship of our customers' information, reads the email to the T1 Wi-Fi customers. The ISP added that we have been receiving calls from customers about Facebook and Twitter. We have the past couple of days been fielding calls from our customers voicing concerns that they do not want these sites allowed and to be displayed on their internet feed to them, and that they do not want their children to go to these sites. The email continues. Here for that northern Idaho and Spokane, Washington area that bans those evil blanks over at Facebook, Twitter, and Google and whatever these other goofy things that are controlling our lives right now with this stuff, and it's only going to get worse.
But make sure you like and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Oh, and check out our Instagram page. Our Instagram page too. There we go. So you're glad that they blocked it?
Yes. Well, I fight fire with fire. I mean, if we're gonna, you want to see how censorship works? You want to ban President Trump? Well, we'll just ban you. What if all the internet service providers said on that, okay, you don't like this? You want to censor free political speech and violate the First Amendment of the Constitution? Okay, what other better grounds is it to eliminate you?
I agree. But for children, parents shouldn't let their children go on there anyway. So that, I don't know why they put that in the statement, but that's cool. However, shouldn't that be the people that live out there's decision if they want to get off it?
And it should be your choice to hear what the President of the United States has to say.
Okay.
It's the same. I mean, that's what they're saying. You want to block the president? You want to violate people's First Amendment rights of free political speech? You don't have a right.
But they're kind of doing it by pulling it in the states anyway.
But what they're saying is you don't have a First Amendment right to be on our internet. We can just poof you like that. There is no constitutional protection from that. There is a constitutional protection of free speech and free political speech. On top of that, if you don't have that, you don't have a country. As we know it. You have a totalitarian.
But I feel like that's like tomato and tomato. I think it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, I dig it. I like it. I mean, crash the whole freaking internet. I'd be happy as hell. But I don't think they should. I mean, they're doing like kind of the same thing.
And what if
those people get their news off Facebook? I get a lot of my news off our show. And then you get rid of it, and then what? I don't have money to afford TV.
That's why we are broadcasting on the AM dial, and you have
on 1490am.com.
There you
Beginning
go.
at 5:30.
And
Tune in.
And on top of that, there's all kinds of ways to get your
No,
message
I know
out.
there is, but a lot of people are used to Facebook. And it's like they're going to rip off that Band-Aid and everyone's going to be freaking the hell out.
Maybe we'll bring back the newspapers.
Dude, I really think we should do that. I think it would be cool.
Again,
I want to write an article too, but it's going to be funny.
Do you want all of it? Do you want everyone? You want these people control? You want your information controlled by 3 or 4 people? You know, that makes it easier. You know, if you want to corrupt or condense or control power, condense it. The more the easier to corrupt, the fewer people you have to corrupt, the easier it is to corrupt. If you've got all sorts of outlets to get your message out or do this or that, it's very difficult to do that. They boil it down to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 companies, and like this, they just got to go switch. You're done.
There's way too many people opening up new media platforms. It's overwhelming.
Well, like Parler, they
we
shut
should
them
just
right
go back.
down.
Let's go back to the pigeon. Tie a little note around its cute little leg.
Yeah.
Have it fly over to
Amazon.
or Susan from Rupa Valleys.
Hey, Parler's up. Tried to do that. Look, Amazon shut you down. We're pulling your servers.
We're going back to newspaper. Can I throw them? I want to. Oh no, I'll probably break something. I'll miss every house.
Here you go. Quick shot, slow motion, clay pigeon shooting as we roll into KMET 1490. This is pretty cool. There goes the shot, the smoke. As they're flying through the air, hits the clay pigeon.
That sounded creepy.
On that.
Hi, Sean.
And here you go as the shell.
Hey guys, hi Stephanie.
Hi.
30 seconds.
What?
30 seconds.
Oh.
There's a cool little transition as you heard Sean, we'll be in 30 seconds. We'll be on KMET 1490. Donnie Edison has his book coming out. We'll have him on a little bit later on in a half hour. And
All right, guys, here we go. 10 seconds. .com.
OEM Supply King. We got it!
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program.
there's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday on the Mighty Met, 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire on the AM band, joining our vast audience, video audience, on iNewswire, on Twitch, Facebook, and
on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share us all over your world. And check out our Instagram page too, and follow us on Twitch.
we're on a
Tenacious Tuesday!
Of going back and forth on that. Man, it was a day. The go back and watch. I think it's very imperative. The sensitivity running amok of that Hallie Deegan, NASCAR racer we've had her on the show when she was racing out here on the West Coast a couple of years ago. She used the word retard in the mix of doing a game. Now NASCAR's saying you got to go through sensitivity training and others. Shut the hell up. And then
How did that go again?
Mike Milbury was color commentator on the hockey games, with the play-by-play guy said, yeah, isn't it good, the hockey players in the bubble where they're COVID restricted, you're quarantined, all the teams, nobody did. And he said, that's a really, good thing, you have no women there to distract you. NBC fires him. He was not making the analogy that we hate women or anything, but you are a distraction to us at times, when we're doing this. And he was saying, yeah, if you want to win the game, and you want to put your full effort, concentration into the game, you need no distractions. That was the analogy he was making. Not that he hates, or the hockey players, or everybody hates women. Again, and he gets fired over this.
That's almost an insult to women.
It is. I would
That
take it.
upsets
I
me
would
more
take it.
than Haley.
Yes.
Is that Haley?
Hallie.
Hallie. I love that name. If I knew how to say it right. That I can't believe he got fired.
Oh, believe
Mark
it because it
writes
happened.
in on Facebook and wants to ask Roy, does he still have Hang 10 t-shirts?
Hang 10 t-shirts?
Hang 10 shirts?
That's like, when was that? In like the 70s?
That's
That was
a
like
yes.
the surfer deal where you
He
you're
does.
hanging your toes over the surfboard. I haven't seen them in ages. They probably got antique value if they're still around.
There's your answer, Mark. He does. Oh my goodness.
It's absolutely incredulous. We covered that. We did the down at the County Board of Supervisors in Riverside County. You've heard hair gel. www.recallgavin2020.com. He's been saying, "Oh, you got to do the Riverside County, LA County. We're all dying. The hospitals are full." Get his name right. Bruce Bart, head of emergency services at Riverside County, said our hospital capacity is 91%. We had Dr. Kelly Victory on many times saying 85% is the sweet spot that hospitals need to be at capacity to keep them open. So if you do have a problem, they're open, they're paying the salaries, they're paying the doctors and nurses, the orderlies, and everybody else that keeps it running of that, paying the electricity bill and everything else. We aren't even 10% over capacity of the optimum sweet spot, and all of a sudden our world's falling apart. The real provocateurs, as we did, and we went through Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, joined Kamala Harris, and everybody else that have been doing this whole thing and egging on the riots and saying they shouldn't stop and keeping them going, and now they're trying to pin it on Trump because of what happened on January 6th for a few people that went in there into the Capitol. These are the real provocateurs are the ones that are giving us the disinformation. And as I said at the supervisors meeting, I said earlier, figures never lie, but liars figure. Samuel Clemens, a.k.a. Mark Twain. And there's nothing truer than that. They're trying to scare you to death, trying to keep you under your thumb, trying to keep you enslaved, may keep you on the plantation, as Mason Weaver has told you many times, that the Maxine Waters, the Kamala Harrises, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Gavin Newsoms are the real plantation owners wanting to keep you and are keeping you and increasingly keeping you under their thumb and enslaving to you.
Yeah. Go to, what is it? www.recallgavin2020.com.
You got it!
Nailed it. I just had that one up too.
And this is where we're headed. Give me number 4, please.
You got it.
All aboard the train to Bankruptcyville. This is absolutely fantastic. It's got the bullet train that we put, $10 billion into nowhere. This is where we're headed in California. California can save the nation. We recall Gavin Newsom. We get at least somebody in the governorship that's going to start turning this thing around, start vetoing some bills, getting things done of that, exposing the truth. And as I've said, watch it. You don't let the cancer of California spread across the other 49 states. You're watching it. We can turn it around. California is powerful enough in the United States and the world to do it. You've heard me explain all the reasons, the natural resources, everything we have here. We can practically feed the freaking world on the soil that is the borders of California. I mean, there is no question about it. And to take this once great state of opportunity for everybody and turn it into a blank hole is beyond sickening.
Whatever happened with that bullet train?
Oh, they're just dumping money down.
Did they even start on it? I mean, I know they started clearing a path, but did they ever lay tracks or anything?
From what? From Merced to Fresno? There's a bunch of commuters going back and forth between there. I mean, it's as stupid as.
So it's up and running?
No, they've dumped $10 billion into 200 miles of tracks that aren't even, and they don't even have it. And they've done this for 10 years, and it isn't. And it's in a stupid place that nobody's going to use it.
I thought it was going to go to Sacramento or something.
It was supposed to go from L.A. to San Francisco.
Ah, that's what it was. I'd see they're getting rid of the road trip. See, they're trying to get rid of our social media. Now they're getting rid of our freaking road trip. There's like no hope.
I'm telling you, you let this thing go, $5 a gallon gas will not only be in California, it'll be all across the country. I've told y'all on the other 50 states, or 49 states, your day of the $1.50, $2, $2.20 gas is over. You've been ha-ha-haing at us Californians where you're about to get AB 32 and the carbon credits and the taxes and everything else once Uncle did his presidency and Chuck E. Schumer gets to be majority leader of the Senate. Katie, bar the door. Because the one thing that they have, that the Congress and the president have, is the power to tax. That's constitutional, and they are dang sure going to use it. Watch. This is going to be Clinton, 1992, Obama, 08. Get ready, buckle up, because it's a-coming. And as they say, grab under your ankles, because you know what's coming next. But we're in Swift Gears. We had him on a couple weeks ago to preview his book. It's coming out on Amazon today. On January 12th. It's a very compelling story about a man who had a life-changing incident. He wrote a book about it, is going to explain it to you. Seeking the Sun Through the Storm. Donnie Edison, welcome to IE Newswire with Steph and Roy.
Hello, you two, and everyone else who is out there listening.
You got it.
Wow.
We did a little preview of that. Just give them a brief 411 on what happened to you, what led up to the events, and what it did to change your life.
Okay, you got it. So what happened was I was diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 7, and then I lived out the rest of my life until I was 36 as if I wasn't diabetic. That caused me to have a stroke at the age of 36. So now I'm 36 years old, been married for a year, been in our home for 3 weeks, and I lose the right side of my brain. So in that moment, it's like, okay, well, what the heck am I going to do? What am I going to do? Life has just gotten really difficult. So I had to make a decision, and my decision was to get up and figure it out. I just felt like that was the best way to make my life a happy place. Rather than staying down and complaining about it, that wasn't going to do me any good. And so that's really the root of the book, which is we're all going to get our butts kicked, but what are we going to do about it?
Exactly. And, tell them about what happened and what happened on that day that changed your life and kind of pick up the story from there.
The day that I decided to, the day that I made the decision not to complain, or the day that I had the stroke?
The day that you had the stroke, just kind of pick it up a little bit from there and then into the day you made that decision.
Well, I'm in my, like I said, we had just moved into our home 3 weeks prior, so I'm in the backyard with my truck back there unloading cinder blocks because I'm going to build a fire pit, and I couldn't carry the cinder blocks anymore because my left arm was no longer working. So I went inside and asked my wife to take me to the hospital, and so she did. I asked if this could be a stroke that I was having, and they said I was too young and shooed me out of the office. Next morning I woke up, I walked out to have some breakfast, fell on my face, pushed myself up, fell on my face, pushed myself up, fell on my face. My wife came out there and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know." So because she's so smart, she said, "Smile." So I smiled. I thought I had this big grin on my face, and she started crying because the left side of my face wasn't moving, and so she knew. So went to emergency room, was in ICU for 2 weeks, then was in physical rehabilitation. My first day at physical rehabilitation in San Bernardino, I complained to anybody who made eye contact with me, just saying things like, "I'm only 36, I just got married and moved into a house, this isn't fair, this isn't supposed to happen to me." And I said that about 20 times that first day until I got wheeled. I was in a wheelchair because I couldn't walk. The doc said I'd probably never walk again. So I get wheeled into my room that night, and I asked myself, "Hey, Donnie, do you feel any better about your situation tonight than you did earlier this morning?" And out loud, I said, no. So then I answered myself, and I said, okay, well, then you're going to have to be more positive and work harder than you've ever worked in your entire life if you're going to get through this. And so that's all I needed to do. Not at all to make anyone believe it's been easy, but that was the right thing to do, because I realized that complaining to everybody that I ever saw was not going to do me any good. But what was going to do me good was to just get in that gym and work hard in my rehabilitation so I could walk again. And so 2 years ago, I walked across the stage at Cal State San Bernardino, receiving my bachelor's degree in communication studies. That was a very proud moment, let me just say that.
So, yeah, the world, sometimes, Mother Nature, God, whatever you believe in, has a way of slapping you upside the head on these things. And when you had that moment, you had the stroke, life-changing, like you said, you were ignoring your diabetes and this and that, and it led you to that point. Again, you were at that crossroads. You could either said, woe is me, and you would have probably deteriorated down to nothing. But take us through some more of the steps in between there of what motivated you to turn this into a positive and not sit there and just make excuses on this.
Well, first, let me say, Roy, that's an excellent question, first of all, because that is very important. It was one day I was in a wheelchair, still sitting at home in the living room watching a baseball game or something. Wheeled myself to the front door because I wanted to get some fresh air. So I stood up, opened the door, and I hear the sound of a baseball hitting an aluminum bat, a sound I'm very familiar with, as I played baseball all my life, and then I was a high street. Looked over my right shoulder like it was yesterday. I can see it in my mind. I asked Natalia, I said, can you please load up my wheelchair and take me across the street? There's something going on over there. So she said, are you ready? I said, of course I'm ready. That's how I was born. I was born ready, right? So we head across the street. I'm sitting in my wheelchair watching batting practice. Now I have the biggest smile on my face I've had for 6 weeks, and I'm just watching batting practice of some high school kids. I don't know who they are, but I was in a place that smelled like baseball, the sight of the dirt and the sounds, and everything was beautiful. So the following Friday, I went back because this was something I could look forward to now. I don't have to just think about how much my life has changed. I could be at the baseball field and smile and feel good. So I went back the second week, went back the third week. By the third week, I told the coach that I had walked up Mount Rubidoux. And so he said, we want you to come sit in the dugout. Well, I said I wanted to walk up Mount Rubidoux. So he said he wanted me to come sit in the dugout the following week to watch a scrimmage game. Well, that was enough to get me excited and get out of that wheelchair. So I went home and started doing laps up and down the driveway every day until the next Friday so that I could walk through the dugout and not have to bring my wheelchair. So I did that. And then while sitting in that dugout, I smiled the entire time. And I realized that, okay, Donnie, this is your happiness, so I'm going to have to go back to college and get my degree so I can be a teacher. So got home, got online, looked up RCC to find out when I could register for classes. That following Monday, we went down and I filled out paperwork for the assistance I could get with my issues, because my vision got messed up a lot. So, got it done.
There you go, and that's what you're at that crossroads and you're sitting there, and I mean you can go right, you can go left, and your story is of that. People can take this any different direction. You can sit there and waller in the pain or blame somebody else or blame anything else. But no, you got to take the circumstances. You got to play the cards that you're dealt. And it's up to you, no matter what the situation is, to make the best of them. And that's what I think is very compelling about your story, is you took the cards that you were dealt with and you went out there and made the best of them.
Yeah, and the way I see it, Roy, is like this. As far as I understand it, at least, no one showed me differently, but this is my life. I'm not going to have another one. So I don't want to be miserable. It came down to a lot about that, was I want to enjoy this life. How can I enjoy this life? I'm not going to enjoy it by sitting on the couch and crying about what happened. It happened. I can't change what happened. I can only move forward in the best way that I possibly can. And for that, I feel like a genius. Now, I'm sorry, that sounds ridiculous. But honestly, I mean, you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't sound, I chuckle because it really doesn't.
Well, I'm clearly not a genius, as I'm missing 95% of the right side of my brain, but I'm glad I was able to make that decision in that moment, because that was everything for me. To be able to sit here and talk to you right now, I wouldn't be doing this if I went left on that road.
Yeah, I think has Mark got a question in there? Maybe. Oh, you went down. Okay, Mark Austin had a question on writing is.
I don't write very well, but it affected the stroke affected my left hand, which I'm right-handed, so it doesn't affect me in that way.
Have the ability to write with it, and so that even though you might not be a artist with the pen, you can still communicate with it, and that's kind of what of all things. Again, you can't change history or what happens to you. You can only pick up the pieces and go with what you got. I mean, we would all like to have, we would all like to have the 100% optimum situation in all time, and everything was just, roses and carnation petals or whatever. And but it isn't. You just got to pick it up, go for it, and whatever it is, it can. Everybody's motivation is different, like you with the baseball and everything. Whatever it makes to make you click, figure out what that thing is that's going to make it click for you, and then go out there and go for it.
Absolutely, and that's interesting that you say it that way, because that's exactly the wording I use with other stroke survivors. For 9 years, I volunteered and spoke with stroke survivors at a stroke support group at the hospital I was a patient at. And my prescription to them was always, what did you enjoy doing? What made your heart and soul smile before the stroke? What was it that you did that just made you have joy? Find a way to do that at any capacity.
Yeah, do what makes you happy. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing or get mired down in that. Constantly, I would find it, my suggestion, and I'm no psychologist or anything, but my suggestion is, happy and makes your life fulfilled. Don't worry about running around telling everybody else what to do, because you're never going to figure that out anyway. You are your most important, asset like that, and again, like you said, we only got a finite time on this earth. Why not make the best of it?
We have one more question from Steven. He writes in on Facebook. Was the baseball game when you took your first steps, Donnie?
No, I was able to walk when I was still in a wheelchair. It's just that I walked at such a snail's pace that I felt so bad to go anywhere with anybody, because it literally, to walk from the kitchen to the bathroom, which was maybe 50 feet away, it would take 20 minutes. And so I just hated to do that to people.
Right.
But I was determined at the point where, okay, you want to come sit in the dugout? Oh yeah, but I'm not bringing this wheelchair, so I got now do it and get stronger and just work. Period.
You got it. We got about 30 seconds left. You got it. You got it. The floor. Wrap her up, Donnie.
Okay, cool. If you're interested in any of the things you're hearing, look me up on Facebook. On Saturday, I'm going to be doing a live talk. And the topic of the talk is going to be the response is everything. So there's a main point in the book, and that is, it doesn't matter what happens to us, but it matters how we respond. So I'm going to be talking about that, and I'm going to be doing it from the top of Mount Rubidoux.
How cool.
That's
what time are you going up there?
It's going to be at 3 o'clock our time.
On Saturday?
On Saturday, yeah.
That great news. Get
We'll
out
have
there.
to go up there.
Yeah, you can go out there and check out Donnie on that. His book debuted today on Amazon. Seeking the Sun Through the Storm on that. If you want to order it and read a very compelling story, it might even motivate you to do it. Donnie Edison, thanks for being on
Congratulations.
Cool.
Have a good one.
Guys.
You got it. Thanks, Don.
Appreciate your time.
Of course. Take care.
Bye-bye.
That was a nice story, and I mean he has a great story of that, and I hope people take from that as we discussed on that. It doesn't matter. Take anything. You can be in the depths of this and think your world is a living hell. You're never going to get out of that, and if you have that mindset, that will probably happen. But it's up to you. If you're the ultimately the only one that can decide that you're going to dig yourself out of that hole, or you're going to take this chicken bleep and make chicken salad out of it. That's that in a nutshell. And Donnie's is one story out of very many of that. But I don't think we don't focus enough on that. It's like anything else, and I've said it to one of Royisms 101. Don't tell me the gazillion reasons why you can't do something. Just give me the one way we can.
Exactly. That saying drives me insane, though.
Why does it drive you insane?
Because you say it to me too much.
I say it a lot because it's the truth.
I'm half kidding.
It is. It's all in how you approach it.
Right.
If you approach it with a defeatist attitude, you're going to lose. If you don't think you're going to win, you're not. And however you come to do that, provided you're not, thumping somebody else on the head doing it. But in the general outlook of things, focus on how you get stuff done. Don't worry about cutting other people down or marring the sorrow or making 27,000 excuses about how you can or this or that or woe is me and yada, yada, yada. Buck up, Buttercup, strap it up, get on it, get after it, and get it done.
Yeah. I want to go up Mount Rubidoux on Saturday now. I feel like I had something to do, though. It's getting moved.
No,
that's really cool, though.
It is.
That's awesome.
Yes, you should. I encourage everybody to go out there and do that, and try something. Try something different. That's it's the spice of life to me. Of that, the amount. If you're never gonna know if you like something unless you try it.
Yep.
There's that music going out.
God, that flew by.
It always does.
I know. Head over to Amazon and pick up Donnie's book today, which was released, Seeking the Sun Through the Storm. Go up to Mount Rubidoux, same Saturday at 3 p.m. and tune into this amazing man every weekday from 5 to 6. And I'll be sitting here.
I knew what was
I'll be sitting here laughing and agreeing with them because I have no other choice.
Till tomorrow,
we're gone.